Hey everyone, Ashi here, and today we're going to be talking about the One Piece live action series, or the live action movie series, presented by Netflix. Now, when talking about live action, I know that can be a touchy subject, and a lot of you hardcore One Piece fans are like, why should we care about this, Ashi? Well, because this movie holds a great importance to rebuilding One Piece's fan base in the West. Now, yes, One Piece has a pretty solid fan base in the West, but nothing compared to the likes of its, contemporaries like Naruto and Bleach, and nothing close to Dragon Ball Z. Because One Piece, well, we'll go into that more in a second. But what I plan to talk about in this is the importance that this movie holds, and why it could fix the series and help its popularity in the West, and also I plan to talk about a bit more about the actors and what I think the production is going to be like and what I hope to see from this series. Now, to get started, we have to talk about a little bit of One Piece history. And for those of you who aren't a fan of One Piece, I really think you should stay and watch this video because it may actually convince you to check out the series. If not, I recommend giving the live action a chance because that may also do the same. So, we have to start back when One Piece was first brought over to the West. Unlike Naruto and Bleach, it was not given a fateful adaptation. It was picked up by 4Kids, which is a company known for censoring, Americanizing, and, well, just pretty much ruining most shows it touched. It's famous for the Pokemon Jelly Donut line, and it definitely did not help One Piece in the slightest. So while Naruto and Bleach were being picked up by kids my age, and people were loving it because of the cool fight scenes, the swords, and the violence, One Piece was being laughed at as this silly sort of show meant for 5-year-olds. When that is in no way what One Piece was. But let's go back to the 4Kids dubbing of it. So, besides cheesy voice acting, stupid accents on characters that didn't belong, they heavily censored the series, and this was a major problem. See, when 4Kids picked up One Piece, they picked it up under the grounds of, well, they didn't know shit about the series, first of all. They picked it up under the grounds as a silly pirate adventure about a rubber pirate boy, which is what most people tend to think One Piece actually is. But that's not the case. One Piece was way more violent than 4Kids thought it would ever be, and used way more weapons, guns, and had way more, well, fights and serious storylines than 4Kids could have ever thought. Because in the end, One Piece is a legitimate shonen manga, not a silly kids show. So when 4Kids got it and they realized how violent it was, they already bought the dubbing rights, they began to censor things, removing guns, blood, knives, swords, replacing them with stupid squirt guns, things, removing cigarettes, which are a key part to some of the characters in One Piece, such as Sanji, who smokes. Either way, they botched and butchered the show to death. And because of that, One Piece couldn't develop a hardcore fan base in the West. 4Kids was everyone's exposure to One Piece in the West, and they utterly destroyed it. So, One Piece, to make its stated claim like Naruto, its claim to fame like Naruto and Bleach, well, it was already ruined before it even got the chance due to 4Kids. So, One Piece just kind of failed here in America and most of the Western world. Now, obviously, One Piece has built a decent fan base in the West now, and some fans didn't get turned off by the 4Kids dub, such as myself. I was introduced to One Piece through the 4Kids dub and that terrible rap opening, but I stuck with the series and kept reading the manga, and I've been reading One Piece for over 10 years now, and I am still in love with it to this very day. I couldn't imagine my life without One Piece, and I don't know what I'm going to do when it ends. Now, that segues us into this movie. It's almost like with this movie series, One Piece is getting a second chance to introduce itself to a Western audience through this live action movie. And this is kind of a big deal. Now, yes, One Piece, like I said, has a very cemented fan base here in the West, but it's nowhere near as big as its fan base in Japan, being that One Piece is the #1 selling manga, one of the most popular animes of all times, and considered to be a national treasure in Japan. It still doesn't have its following here like it does there. This is a chance for a new generation of fans to be introduced to the series without 4Kids' terrible censoring. And it might actually bring people around to One Piece because of the way it's tackling the arcs. Because nowadays, if you ask someone who's never watched One Piece, they'll either say it's goofy, it has a weird art style, it has a terrible, they'll remember the terrible 4Kids dub, or they'll say it's too long. They haven't had time to invest themselves in the story. Well, I do believe this movie could actually fix that. But let's go ahead and start talking about the movie itself. So, the movie is going to be covering the first part, the set of movies. I think it's 10 total movies, or like 1 hour and 40-minute specials, whichever way you want to call it. We'll be covering the East Blue Saga of One Piece. So that's everything from the first episode till probably Reverse Mountain, if I had to make my guess. Which is everything pre-Grand Line, basically. That's kind of actually a big deal to cover in such a short amount of time. But I do have some faith that Netflix can do it, because not all of the live action stuff on Netflix was as bad as the Death Note live action. Dear God, please no. But I actually think it could do it. And the reason I think that this has a chance to make new One Piece fans out of most of you guys and people who haven't watched One Piece is because there's a very key part in early episodes of One Piece that tend to hook fans. It's not just the lovable characters or the hokey hijinks or the fighting. It's a specific arc called Arlong Park, and it'll seem to be a major focus of this arc, of this first part of One Piece. And it seems like they're going to give it the love they deserve. At least that's what I hope. Now I know I'm putting a lot of hope and a lot of I guess, dreams into this myself, but I have faith that Netflix can handle this and that they might be able to do it right. Will it be a 1-to-1 for the manga and the anime? No, probably not. They'll have to skip things and they'll probably have to edit things for time. But I believe that this could be a great introductory point in the West for new audiences and new fans of the series. Which is great because I always want to share my lovable pirate anime that has a much darker story than you really think it does with the rest of you guys, because I really, really love this show. Alright, let's talk about the actors. So, when I first saw the cast, I was honestly really excited, and I still am. I think this cast looks amazing, actually. So, a lot of the stuff was based off, you might be wondering, like, why some of the cast is so racially diverse and everything, given the Straw Hats and their drawings. Well, Oda has actually released where each of the Straw Hats will be from if they were, part of our real world, and the director based the cast off that list. So, for example, Luffy would be from Brazil, Sanji would be French, I do believe Zoro was Japanese, and Usopp was supposed to be somewhere from Africa. So, this casting is actually pretty great, barring like Oda's idea for what the characters would be if they were in our world. Now, I've done a lot of research on the actors, though I'm still really bad with names. I'm not going to try to butcher some of their names. But the actor playing Luffy, he, from what I've read, has never watched One Piece, but is actually researching it now. And for what I have seen about him, he seems really giddy, really excited, really happy. And he seems to have a deep understanding that the show is something special. That this is a show that means a lot to a lot of people. One, it's a huge deal for Japanese audiences because One Piece is a treasure in Japan. And it's celebrated and loved by pretty much every anime fan there. And two, because it means a lot to Western audiences too, for long-term fans, such as myself. One Piece helped me through a very hard time in my childhood and got me through some very dark times where I would just watch the show and escape with the Straw Hats and go on journeys and adventures. And I've still been doing that to this very day, even as an adult. I, again, get lost in the show. And the actor playing Luffy, that would be this guy here, seems to actually understand that this show means a lot, and he says that he will be trying his best to have us, and give a faithful adaptation of Luffy and have us joining the crew. So that's pretty great. That's already a really good thought process to me, because they're starting to realize this is more than just a typical acting job, that these guys will be playing characters that are heroes to many people, and that are cultural icons to an entire, country. So I think that that's a good mindset going in, and that gives me a lot of hope that these guys are going to do faithful to the characters. Usopp's actor, from his part in the video, God, I loved it. He was jumping up and down on the couch, screaming, "The pirates are coming, the pirates are coming." He has a lot of energy, and with someone who's going to play Usopp, I think that's really important. I think Usopp and Luffy are easily the most energetic starting characters of the Straw Hats, and they need to have really big energy. Same with Luffy's actor. He has a $1 million smile, which is key for Luffy, because, well, smiling is a huge part of the One Piece storyline, especially with Luffy and Goldie Roger and the stories of Joy Boy and later lore, so the smile means a lot. As for Zoro's actor, I think this is absolutely perfect. What can I say about Mikenyu? Okay, Zoro is the most badass samurai in anime history. Okay, everyone loves Zoro. And there are a lot of samurai and swordsmen in anime, but Zoro takes the cake, right? So you have a badass samurai being played by Mikenyu has played samurai in several series, including in the Rurouni Kenshin live action. So you've got a badass samurai playing badass samurai, but that's not all. His father is a famous Japanese actor who also has been playing samurai for a long time. He was in Kill Bill. I cannot remember his name. It's Sunny something. It's not coming to me right now. But yeah, so you've got a son whose father played badass samurai. He plays badass samurai, and he's playing the most badass samurai in anime history. I feel like if casting had destiny, then Mikenyu was destined to play Zoro. Definitely. And I have nothing but hype for this guy's performance because one, he's Japanese, so he knows what Zoro means to the world. Two, I watched him in the final Rurouni Kenshin movie, and his choreography and action sequences were sick. So I have no doubt that he will do Zoro justice. Now, Emily Rudd is probably the one I've seen the most about. She's apparently a long-time One Piece fan and has been reading the manga probably as long as I have. And I actually went and watched her acting in Fear Street, and it was really solid. And she'll be playing the role of Nami. And Nami is by far the most important role for the early parts of the One Piece series. So the parts that we're going to be covering. Because remember that arc I told you about, Arlong Park? Nami is the key focus piece to Arlong Park. So I think that Emily Rudd will do a great job. And I think that in her video, I felt that she knew a lot about the characters and that she loved it. She was even wearing a Nami necklace in her video. So I have a lot of faith that she'll do a really great job and be a great Nami. Now, let's go to Sanji. So I've heard a lot of controversy about Sanji's actor. I think he looks like suave and cool, and like he will portray the early Sanji very extremely well. Now, I'm not so sure seeing him acting hokey and crazy in the time skip Sanji, but is for the first arc, East Blue Sanji, I think this guy looks cool. And there's some videos on his Instagram and stuff of him practicing kickboxing and different kicking martial arts, and it already looks like he's taking the role very seriously. He's an actor and director, so he seems like he's a pretty confident person. I haven't watched any of his work yet. I couldn't really find any of it, like, for streaming, so... But yeah, he seems like he'd make a great Sanji. So I think with this cast, yeah, it all looks really solid. Not to mention, let's talk about the budget they put per part. So, like I said, it's going to be broken up into 10 parts for the first East Blue Saga. 10 million per part. Now, that seems like an insane amount of money to put towards a show. But that's because I do believe the director knows, and Netflix knows, that this is One Piece. It is the best-selling manga of all time. It's one of the most popular animes in history, and it already got fucked over by America once. And I believe they are definitely thinking about that. So they're like, we cannot mess this up. So they're going all out in the budget. Like with the budget on this. I imagine the CGI will be great. The effects will be great. They are trying to do this as just as possible. And I legitimately believe that. I've seen talks from the director saying that he's a big One Piece fan. He knows a lot about One Piece. He knows how important it is. And I believe it's in the back of everyone. The 4Kids adaptation of One Piece is in the back of everyone's mind, and they don't want to have this happen again. Now, for those of you guys who haven't seen the casting video, I would highly recommend checking it out. I'll link it in this video's description. But yeah, the whole point I wanted to make with this video is that I'm excited for this live-action adaptation. Now, I read the manga and watch the animated One Piece, and I have, like I said, for over 10 years. But this live-action adaptation isn't for me. It's not for the super fans who stuck with the series. This is One Piece's second chance to make an impact in the Western audience. This is One Piece's chance to get a fair shot here in the West, here in America. It's One Piece's chance to build a new fan base. Some people on Netflix may see this, and if they do it right, they'll be interested and they'll go check out the series. And that will build a whole new generation of One Piece fans. Bunches of new Nakama, right? And that's what has me most excited about this movie, is that it'll be an introductory to Western audiences for One Piece that isn't the 4Kids dub, giving One Piece the true shot it deserves in Western audiences, and could spark a whole new generation that I could share my favorite anime of all time with. And one of the best stories ever, just in general, one of the best animated stories ever. Now, I know this is the second One Piece video I've done, and you might be wondering if this is a One Piece channel now. No, I pretty much talk about anime and cartoons as I see and what I feel like, and right now One Piece is on my brain. But I'll be doing some Amphibia videos later on my other channel, and I'll probably be doing a seasonal anime review on what's good airing this season on this channel pretty soon. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say, so Ashi signing out.